Hello baby gangsters, this is Calvin, also known as Wormer, and this is the community video. This is usually just a short video where I get asked a few questions and I ask a question to some people in my community and patrons who want to answer those questions or ask those questions. And this month I asked the question, what video game world would you like to live in? And here's what a few patrons said. Alligator says, honestly I think for me I'd say either Stardew or Genshin. Started because it would just be living out my dream of moving to the middle of nowhere and having a farm, but with fewer logistics and fun and a bit of adventure. Genshin is just so beautiful. I read that wrong, by the way. I'd love to live in Sumeru and be a forest watcher with Tonari and Kale. Living in a treehouse was always part of my fantasy world as a kid, and I still think it would be amazing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, the logistics are definitely handled with Stardew, right? Because they give you your grandfather gives you the farm. You have like all these people that are willing to help you around you. There's so many resources available for you as well. That's so cool too. And so many chances to make money while also having, you can just choose to have a relaxing day in Stardew. Once you have everything set up, you can just like relax, have a nice time there. So it definitely makes sense. And when Genshin, yeah, can you imagine going to Sumeru? Can you imagine going to visit Kave? And as you said, go to the treehouse with Kale and Tonari and Sino. It'd be so freaking nice. Especially since, like, so many places in Genshin, like, are just, like, incredibly peaceful to live in. And, like, imagine going to try the food, making a trip to Liyue and going to, like, Shangling's restaurant. Oh my god. Yeah. Felicious Felix says, it's not a surprise that I picked Genshin, right? No. No, it's not. Yeah, the world is quite dangerous for the NPC type, since I'd definitely be an NPC, but I'd probably live in Mondstadt since there's the most free and also least dangerous so far. Literally the only things you'd have to worry about would be hilly churls, but you can easily avoid them by living in the city. You'd be protected by Venti, Jean, Diluc, Kaya, and many more vision wielders. I think it'd be fun to travel, but I definitely make sure to not go it alone. Just imagine waking up, going outside to get food at the Good Hunter, maybe listening to Venti play his harp sing outside the cathedral. You could set up shop near the front of the Mondstadt and sell something you made or cultivated, since you'd have the freedom to do so with little to no worries. It all just sounds so peaceful. One could either end up the day by playing Genius Invocation TCG at the Catstail, getting drinks with friends at the Angel Share, or something completely new. I'm done rambling though. I just love Genshin. No, this is again, Genshin would be such a perfect world to live in. It really would. And like I don't know where I'd have to think. I'd probably say at the end, like, if in terms of Genshin worlds where I'd live in, it'd be Liyue. Liyue to me is just like I don't think it has, again, while it might not be as peaceful, it has like that combination of like the aesthetic that is so beautiful. And also, even though food is very good in Mondstadt and in Inazuma and everywhere else as well, like when they describe food in Liyue, it just sounds absolutely amazing. And I could just imagine looking out on the ocean at the harbor, you know what I mean? As you're drinking tea. But I love this idea as well. Yeah, it just sounds like such a peaceful life. The idea of just like, doing your business around Mondstadt and no one judges you there because everyone's just trying their best and making their own businesses, and you have the freedom to make mistakes and do all this stuff. It just makes perfect sense to live there as well. And like, you have some of the kindest and nicest characters ever, and they will also look out for each other constantly. They're always looking out for Mondstadt for each other. So yeah, it sounds amazing. Victoria says, maybe it's basic of me, but Genshin. It's just so pretty. I could get a little house in Liyue and eat Zhangling's cooking, or join the Adventurers Guild and travel all over. Victoria reading my mind. Same wavelength here. Honestly, yeah, that would be my thing as well. Like I said, like going to get Zhangling's cooking in Liyue. Liyue is such a beautiful place. It really is. And again, just sitting there eating the food, looking out on the ocean at the harbor sounds so amazing to me. Yeah, it sounds so incredible to me. Especially like, if like, I feel like in Liyue more than, I think it was like one of the first places where I was like, this is like a bustling, has the mixture of like a bustling area while also being quite peaceful as well. You have the best of both worlds in a lot of cases in that sense, right? I really like the idea of living in Liyue. Thank you, Victoria. Leanne says, I don't entertain the idea of surviving in any video game where you get a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm going to say Animal Crossing. The simplicity of it is a lifesaver, and I also get to buy illegal stuff from the local Walmart. Ethical version. Owner's X says, so we kind of get schmovin'. Also fun animal neighbors. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Like with Animal Crossing, you kind of like have like this small area where nothing bad happens and there's no one to really and then the decisions made by the people who own the area are not bad because like, you kind of like make the final decisions in a lot of cases too, and you'll get like free gifts. You get to do exploring every day. You can make your life your own. If you choose one day to just build like, hey, I want to build a a local community center or local air, like in my Animal Crossing world, I remember I built like a like this like cafe in the middle of town. You can do that. You can do all that stuff you want, and I really feel like that's like, you know, what would make it so special to live there as well, especially since it's such like a quiet world as well. And you get to choose who lives in the house beside you, even though I never got rid of any of my neighbors. The ones that showed up were the ones that stayed there. I remember Kabuki, for example. He was not leaving ever. What's your damage? Says a good afternoon, morning / evening, everyone, and anyone and everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and even to you too. Honestly, of all the video games I played, which I haven't been many, I don't really want to live in them because I really have monsters in them. Unless you're some protagonist or other named character, you probably would have always have to watch your back. Maybe the Nikki series world, because fighting with other physically is kind of against human law, so you have to do style battles. Though of course there's also rule breakers. But lately I've been listening to a lot of top artists. I usually do. I listen to a lot of the same artists I usually do. Tyler the Creator, Chapel Roan, Kali Uchis, G Idol, very cool. Rocio Durcal, a variety I suppose. Also Paris, Paloma, and Bambi Thug. And I have been on the One Piece binge, and along with Always Sunny in Philadelphia season 4 or 5, I think in my free time. What about you? Any shows or music you like lately? First of all, you've sent in some G Idol stuff, absolutely fantastic. Tyler the Creator is just, I think, just such a fantastic artist too. Chapel Roan, I have a lot of respect for as well, especially like with the way she expresses herself. I think is also very fantastic. In terms of the Nikki series, like I haven't played it, but like seeing that first trailer when it was first announced, I was like, oh my god, this looks like a magical world that you could definitely get lost in. The idea of fashion and clothes, and like still seeing this beautiful world to explore along with the fashion aspects of it, well, sounds so fun. In terms of what you're watching as well, I've only seen one episode of One Piece. I've only seen one episode of Always Sunny. And in terms of my free time, what's your damage? I've been watching Frieren, which has been one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. It's grabbed my attention tighter than like most shows have in the past like decade. It really has. It's like, and I'm not just talking about anime, I'm talking about shows. It is like literally got its claws into me. Whereas if I don't watch one episode like in a day, I feel like bad. I'm not bad, not like, oh god, I hate this. It's more just like, oh man, I kind of miss watching Frieren, and I'm almost finished. I have like 3 episodes left, and I can't handle that. It's so bad. In terms of music I listen to, I listen to Coody and Cambry all the time. Playing games, I'm playing the Tales of Graces F remaster right now. But thank you for asking that as well. That's very, very sweet of you. What's your damage? And I hope you're having a good time with all the stuff you said as well. All the variety of things that you've been into. Scenic Season says, my default answer is always Pokemon. All the regions are nice, Pokemons are cool, and nothing bad happens to an average citizen. If some big CEO got an idea to destroy the world, I can still sleep easy knowing an average 10-year-old would probably be confronted and win against the big bad. So there's only advantages. That's also a very good way of putting it as well. It's like, oh my god, Giovanni's coming. Don't worry, there's a 6-year-old, there's a 10-year-old coming to help out. Which I do freaking love that aspect too. Because again, Pokemon Worlds to me, I'm trying to think of my favorite Pokemon World, probably X and Y. X and Y, like I love the towns. I love the areas surrounding the towns. They're so pretty. They really are. And then Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon is beautiful too, but like I love a city mixed with like beautiful countryside. I think that's like the ideal place. Like a city that leads into the countryside is so beautiful. And X and Y definitely had all that for me too. So like I could imagine definitely living in X and Y, and it would sound fantastic Scenic Season. Especially since you know, I haven't played a Pokemon game since Scarlet and Violet, and those games are still very pretty too, but X and Y to me, I know X and Y is like kind of like considered not one of the best in the franchise, but for me, I would like, if you asked me to play that game for the first time again, I would like, you know, thank you on my hands and knees, honestly. Pretty great worlds to pick as well. Thank you. Next is the questions that were asked, and it's Ali asking a question. My question is to you. Do you prefer blue coloring of the Sheikah technology or the green coloring of the Zonai magic? Tears of the Kingdom is one of the greatest games ever made. I love it to pieces. It's one of the most impressive games ever made. But can I say that like the blue Sheikah stuff and the sound of the blue Sheikah stuff and seeing all that aesthetic, Ali, just like hits me in the heart. It hits me so freaking hard. Like it like thinking about it. And you're right when you're saying, it's a great question, Ali, because you're so right, because it hits me so hard so quickly. I'm like how can like a color and a sound and a piece of technology in a game that's just user for mechanic make you feel this way? Well, it just does. It's absolutely incredible. So I'd say the blue coloring of the Sheikah technology for sure. Scenic Season asks, what new games or old are you excited about this year? The new Like a Dragon game, I'm pretty excited for. It's coming out very soon. I think we'll play it on the channel. Even for a bit, we'll play it on the channel. There's so many games I was thinking about like that are possibly coming out there. But Tales of Grace's F Remastered already happened as well. That I'm pretty excited to play. I'm playing right now. But yeah, the Like a Dragon game, of course, I feel like is the biggest one that's been announced this year. I was gonna play the new WWE game because they had this new mechanics in it, but they recently released a bunch of entrances for the characters, and they're the same as last year. And I'm just like, I can't do this again. I've been buying these games every year for since I was a kid, since I was a baby. I've been buying all these games, and this might be the first year I missed because like, unless they show me something considerably different, then I just can't. I can't get into it. Like, it's the same thing every year. I can't do it again. But I say the Like a Dragon game is probably the one I'm like most excited for. I am excited because, mark my words, we're getting a Persona 6 reveal this year. Mark my words. I'm telling this right now. I don't think we'll get the new Liyue game this year. I don't think that's going to be even a possibility this year. If I forget some games, I'll add it in after this as well. But like, that's definitely the games that I'm like most excited for. The Like a Dragon game is definitely like the Pirate Yakuza is definitely the game I'm most excited for. SRVG, say, what's your thoughts and opinions on the new gen design game? Oh god, we just talked about this. Project Robot. Do you have any theories about the game and what you've seen so far? So, Fumito Ueda is my favorite director of all time across all media. He is my favorite director in anything. Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite game of all time. Ico and The Last Guardian means so much to me. When I saw this, it was the most moving announcement I've seen since, like, for years. And I love announcements. I love getting game announcements. But this was like truly like a moment where I was like, oh my freaking god. This director's making a game again. I think it has his style, is what I think about it. I think it has all those magical aspects of his style that really, really mean so much to that game. Or his style, I mean, and it's going to mean so much to that game. While also having some, like, the very Ueda elements of, like, what is happening in this game. Because even before The Last Guardian, no one truly knew what it was. Everyone was still questioning up until the point of release, right? What I love about Ueda games is that you could show a full hour of snippets from the entire, like, 6-hour game, right? You could show a full hour and still people wouldn't be able to piece together what's happening. In terms of theories, my theory is that I thought that it was a game where you have to, it's about like these mech creatures, right? That you have to like detach and attach to each other. But I don't think it's going to be as simple as like, you know, just finding different parts and making your own mech. It could be that. I think it is literally probably going to be saving the souls of people within those mechs that were left behind. I think it's going to be about like the people that died in those mechs. I think that's what it's going to be. I think we're going to have a situation where the people that died in those mechs are going to have a story attached to them, and whatever destroyed those things doesn't want you to learn that history of that as well. There's going to be something about the world that wants to stop you from learning about those histories of those people. That's my theory anyway. But it looks incredible. It's my most anticipated game ever. Victorias, I remember when you first started your Genshin playthrough, you said you weren't sure if it wouldn't be in your top 10 games or not, and then as you progressed, it not only went into your top 10, it would climb the ranks further to top 5. How surprised were you by this, and is it affecting your expectations for Star Rail and ZZZ? Victoria is very excited for Star Rail, as am I excited to play it as well. And a lot of people are excited for Star Rail too, especially for people to see, for me to see Sampo. Is that his name, Sampo? Yeah, I didn't expect. Now here's the thing with Genshin. When I played Genshin, right, the thing that happened with Genshin was that I thought that it was a game that was an ongoing game that you just played like online stuff quite a bit, and then there was story, bits and pieces of story in there as well. I remember when I finished the first area, I was like, or the first world region when I defeated Dvalin, I was like, wow, this is like a lot cooler than I thought. And then you beat Liyue and you're like, oh my god. You're like, holy hell. Then you go to Inazuma and you're like, this game is insane. And now it's like, this game is nothing like what I expected it to be. It's one of the greatest stories I've ever played. So terribly in love with this game, I really am. And yeah, I didn't expect it to be in my top 10 this quickly. I thought it would take a while. And now that it's still in my top 4, it's like a big deal to me as well. And is this changing my expectations for Star Rail and ZZZ? I think that this is my expectations for Star Rail. I think I'm going to absolutely fall in love with Star Rail. I think I'm going to fall in love with Star Rail so much. I really think it would, I think it'll be I think it'd be a shocking situation if I look at Star Rail and I'm not in love by the end of this. With ZZZ, I think it might take like, I think it might be very, it seems very flashy from a distance, and I think I'd be very impressed by everything, but I think I will get to the meat of it and then be like, oh, okay, this is really, really cool as well. Because the flashiness of it is very cool also, and the characters and the music is already cool, but it's about like obviously like finding out like what aspects of that I'm going to be really into also. But I'm really excited to meet the characters in Star Rail. I'm really excited to play that game. I think it's going to be like March. I think if, like now, judging by the way we're going, I might be like the end of March, right, when we get there. But we'll see how things go with that. But I'm thinking March is when we're starting Star Rail. And I'm very excited for it. Victoria's been helping with the hype, guys, for sure. Keeping the hype going for Star Rail, as have many other patrons as well. There's a real fever of people excited for me to play this game. And that makes me so excited as well. By the way, that doesn't mean Genshin's over, by the way. We're still going to be probably like doing one Genshin video at least a week. When events come out, we're going to be doing multiple. Actually, I think the idea is like, say if an event comes out like the Lancerite in future, what might happen is that we might do it all in one video or something like that. And then like, that might be the way things, because they're not going to be happening all the time, like the big story events, but we'll see how it goes. We might do them all in one video. That might be how it happens. But thank you so much for your questions, guys. That means the absolute world to me. Another fun week ahead of us. If you're watching this now, we have more Sonic coming during the week. We have the Natlan's coming up as well this Sunday. We won't have a video for Genshin on Saturday, but we will have a video for the Let's Play. And I want to say thank you so much to the Never Gonna Play the Baby Gangster on Patreon. That being Ty4R2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuled, Radish, Anusa, Death Trap, Lynx Markey, Assassin, Jared Beanham, Colorbo, True Vita Butter, Alpaca Juice, Peter Shelson, Heck, and SR Fiji. And guys, I'll see you tonight for another video. I'll see you tomorrow for the next Genshin video. I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much for being so great. I said it, you know, on many times before, but last year was incredible. This year, I'm sure it'll be just as incredible. And I appreciate you all so much. Bye-bye.